Thomas Theorist videos are brought to you by my Patreons and viewers like you. Thank you. 40,000 subscribers. That is a crazy amount of people subscribed to this channel. I genuinely can't thank you all enough. Considering I only started posting videos back in 2023, I am gobsmacked at how many of you want to listen to me ramble about Thomas the Tank Engine. Now, people don't just start out making videos overnight. You have to make a lot of really bad videos before you can start to make good videos. It's all about trial and error. Nobody ever starts out perfect. So for this subscriber special, I thought it would be fun to look back at some of my older videos, which you have all never seen before. So for the first time ever, you'll get to hear younger Thomas Theorist.
Hello everybody, Thomas Theorist here.
Yeah, I've been saving this video idea for a special occasion. This is going to be more of a personal video, so with all that out of the way, let's begin. So what if I told you all that this isn't the original Thomas Theorist channel? There was actually another channel that's still up to this day on YouTube called Thomas Theorist that I made back in 2015. Only instead of 40,000 subscribers, it has 44 subscribers. This was my first channel, and I've linked it below if you want to check it out later. So around 2014, me and my sister got these yellow iPads for Christmas, and this iPad was the genesis of Thomas Theorist. It was on this iPad where I'd make a lot of my first videos that I'd post to YouTube. It's very nostalgic now, as I still have a lot of the older apps downloaded on it, such as Cut the Rope, Angry Birds Star Wars, Temple Run 1 and 2, Hill Climb, and Angry Birds Rio, which is really cool, because those Angry Bird apps don't exist on a Play Store anymore. And any kid from 2014 will remember playing these games on their iPads. I also have a lot of pictures from the farm where I grew up on, and yep, that's right, I grew up on a farm. And it was around this time where I'd make a lot of stop-motion Lego videos. These animations were very primitive, but I still feel really nostalgic looking back at these animations I did.
Jennifer, quickly, come! What's wrong? A burglar's in your house, quickly get in there! But I'm a little bit scared, I don't really want to go in. Okay, I'll go in with you, okay? Okay.
Wow, Jennifer, you're really happy about a burglar being in your house. Even from a young age, I loved making videos. Because I had a lot of Lego, I would always build these huge cities. But it wasn't just a huge collection of Lego I also had a huge collection of minis, which I still have to this day. And I would also do lots of skits on the minis too. One of these skits I did was the Hungry Controller.
I've got my shopping list here, and I want you to go to the shops and get this stuff.
Okay, let me explain. This figure of comic book guy with Grandpa Simpson's head is meant to be the fat controller, I think? And he wants to eat Thomas.
Okay, there's cake and apples and... Thomas? Why am I down the shopping list? Because I'm going to eat you.
I don't know. I was young.
What's wrong, Thomas? Are you alright? I just had that bad dream again that the fat controller was going to eat me. Oh, don't worry, Thomas. The fat controller would never think about eating one of his engines. That's what they think.
I filmed many crashes with my engines. I also filmed a skit with Spencer and Steven.
You're not a fast engine at all. Yes, I am, and I can prove it. How?
Absolute cinema. However, the first video I ever posted was me unwrapping a Mini's truck with tape. I couldn't tell you why I did this. Now, the reason why I had so many of these Minis trucks was because this was the first Minis rolling stock you could get. Now, my first proper speaking video was me showing off a cardboard Vicarstown station that was made to be in scale with the Minis. Apparently, I made it after seeing The Great Race, which is interesting.
So, I recently watched The Great Race, and I really liked the station that was in it, so I decided to make the Vicarstown station. There it is.
I also mentioned how I used a minis gator to do the tracks.
For the actual paint here, I got a gator, I got it and I dipped it in paint.
And hey, I still have this minis gator to this day. I think the reason I picked the gator was because I had a duplicate of him, so it wasn't a huge loss. Now my first ever review was actually on Take and Play Mike, Rex and Bert, if you can believe it. And you can tell even from a young age, I was already very opinionated.
The wheels are blue. This is really irritating.
These videos are unbelievably cringy to me and make me want to die inside. But hey, we all have to start somewhere, right?
That block, I like to call it. I wouldn't even consider it a tender.
These are very disconnected from the videos I'd make today, but it is kind of cute looking back and seeing what I was like back then. There is definitely an unscripted element to it, which is kind of interesting.
Hello everybody, Thomas Theorist here.
Later, I did an update video on Vicarstown where I finished it off and painted it up.
So there it is in all its glory. Oh, sorry about the... Okay, never mind.
And what's even funnier is you can hear my old phone notification sound in the background.
I was very happy with the station, but I decided to add on to it. So if you follow...
I also made these cardboard Annie and Clarabelles because at the time they hadn't made any minis yet of Annie and Clarabelle.
Look, there's Annie and Clarabelle. And there's the big engines.
And I still have these cardboard Annie and Clarabelles to this day. There's trucks with Annie and Clarabelle on them. I also made a minis Farquhar, which you can see in the background. And the last video I made in the channel was a phone recording of the extended version of the Tell the Brave song.
When I'm with you, we rock and we roll. You make me happy, you make me bold.
Which Robert Hartshorn released on his Twitter in 2016. And that was pretty much the final thing I posted on that original channel. Looking back, it is pretty primitive, but it's also pretty cool seeing where I came from. And I'm glad that you guys can now see that too. It wouldn't be until 2017 when I created the channel that you're watching this on right now. And it was around 2020 I remember watching a First and Last Lines video for Steven Universe characters. And I thought to myself, hey, nobody's done that with Thomas. So for about 7 months, I worked in a video idea where I would render each segment of the First and Last Lines of Thomas characters, and eventually stitching all of these videos together to make one full video of every Thomas character's first and last line.
Wake up, lazy bones, why don't you work hard like me?
Now what was crazy was this video popped off back in the day and got over 2 million views before Mattel unfortunately took it down. However, it has since been re-uploaded many times on other YouTube channels, and many people have still been doing their own versions of the First and Last Line videos to this day, which is honestly kinda cool that that video is still having influence even to now. Now 2022 was when I really got to meet many people from the fandom for the first time ever. I went to Wales, I went to Tugs Trust, and I went to America for the first time ever, where I got to see the good old days live, and I got interviewed for Unlikely Fandom. It was really cool getting to meet Thomas fans in person for the first time ever. It was also around this time I got my apprenticeship as a carpenter, and for about 4 years, I did just that, while working on videos on the side. And what's interesting is I would actually sneak some of my work colleagues into videos. For example, at the end of the every finale ranked, I put Seamus in there because he wanted to be there. Jimmy asked to be in a video, so I put him inside the Railway Series ranking one. And the guy who says Amination at the end of the Greg Tiernan video was also a work colleague of mine.
I did the animation.
However, I was only at my first job for about 3 years before it unfortunately became compromised. With this free time that I was now given, I was able to work more on videos. And the first video that I made just so happened to be the Underground Ernie video. Now, believe it or not, doing the Ernie video was kind of a risk at the time, because nobody knew what Ernie was. So I made the video not knowing if it would even do well. But what was amazing was that video led to a huge resurgence of Ernie memes in the fandom. I wouldn't have been able to make that video, so perhaps there is a silver lining in there after all, because Ernie would not be a meme because of that. So after that, I really started taking YouTube more seriously. I made a Patreon, I started doing the types of videos that I'd always wanted to do, like timeline videos or things you missed in Thomas. And what's great is I still have so many new video ideas that I want to make for you guys. So I really appreciate that you guys allow me to do this. Now, around the time of the Series 21 video, I was able to go back to college and finish out my carpentry apprenticeship, which was really great. And through my apprenticeship, I got to build all kinds of cool stuff like a coffee table, a corner cabinet, and this table with the island of soda on it. However, one of the funnest projects I got to work on was my Down the Mine pilot. I had never properly done a remake before, so it was really an eye-opening experience doing this. So for some shots, I'd build the set, then I'd rebuild it again, facing the other way. It was really fun getting to build all these sets and replicate the TV series, and doing camera tricks. Like this shot of Thomas at Knapford. He's actually reversed in the final, it's kinda cool. Because it was Bachmann I was filming with, the filming can be quite temperamental, so I had to do a lot of camera tests before being able to get the final shots. You can see the slow evolution here of the sets. Bruh. This was tricky to get right. As soon as Rosie hit her mark, I would have to pull the trucks away with my hand while getting Thomas started to move along the track. The shot was all about timing and making sure everything happened at the exact right moment. What's the issue? But eventually I did get a shot that I like. Now for the walls of the mines, these were made out of expanding foam, which is the type of stuff you'd fill up your doors or house windows with. I think the mines came out very well, even if Thomas did derail at them. Now the mine collapse took a lot of preparation. Unfortunately, it took quite a few attempts to get the mine collapse just right. Sometimes it would collapse too early, or Thomas would go in the wrong direction. And each time I would have to redo this set again and again. For fuck's sake. But eventually I did get a shot of the sinking ground that I like. Now the way I did it was that there was a hole in the board, and I would wedge two bits of wood together under the table, and I would later fill this up and have the sand fall into a box under the table. The top of the table would then have sand put all around it, and when everything was dressed up, it would look like the table is just flat. The final effect I thought looked really good. Another hard shot was trying to get Thomas out of the mine. I tried Gordon pulling him, I tried using my hand, I tried having him be pushed by Gordon and then reversing that footage in post, but regardless, I had a really fun time while filming this little project. Considering where I started making videos, and where my videos have ended up, I'm really happy with them. Looking back at my really old videos, a critic could just write them off as terrible, and yes, they are terrible, I'm not in denial about that. But it was from these terrible videos that I was able to learn and blossom into the YouTuber that I am today. So don't feel too bad if you think your videos are awful. Every YouTuber starts out making bad videos. What's important is that you learn from that. I think everyone has a video idea inside of them, but it's just up to you and to only you to find out what the idea is. So make art that's original to you. Create the types of stories or custom custom models that only you could make. And don't ever listen to those negative people who put your ideas down or make you feel bad for even having them. If you know truly in your soul it's a good idea, then you go for it 110% of the way. And here's the truth about making videos. You can never make a perfect video. Every video I have ever published has had at least one improvement I could have made to it. So there's no point in chasing perfectionism, so you might as well just do it. Seriously, what have you got to lose? You have to muck up and be bad in order to be better. Because if you don't, all you'll be left with is a blank piece of paper. My final bit of advice is to remind you that you can do it. It is possible, and I'm living proof of that. Whatever you want to make, not just videos, but anything, I believe in you. Even if the piece of art isn't good, at least you picked up the pencil. And in my eyes, even bad art is still art once your soul is in it. So thank you all for watching. And thank you so much for 40,000 subscribers. And whatever you do, never stop trying to create your own art, because the 14-year-olds of today will be the YouTubers of tomorrow. And I will see you all next time. Slán a bhaile.